I think as of this chapter, Megumi is my favorite character in Jujutsu Kaisen. I really do think that. I really like a lot of the big characters in the series. I think they're all pretty good. But amongst the characters like really presented, I think Megumi has done the best job. He's got a really cool design. I think his powers are really badass, and I really like his backstory. And in this chapter, like we get a lot of hype for his character, as well as like a really good like explanation for his abilities, as well as like he is essentially is able to cheat his ability to have like a super broken move. So during this like flashback, he's like thinking back with like a conversation with Satoru, and I really like that Satoru is hyping him up because that kind of like the way that he talked to Megumi fuels a like tinfoil hat like paranoid theory video I have for this series, and that Megumi is secretly the main character, and that Yuji is just the villain that's being built up throughout it. Because Satoru is the pinnacle of characters. Like when you really look at a lot of the tiers, like look at how any characters handled a special grade compared to like Satoru and Sukuna. Like really they're the only ones that can mow down a special grade curse. Well, I bet the same as well. Probably not as heavy, but the other special grade sorcerers can defeat them. But Satoru and Sukuna are the only ones that can just completely bullet them. But then when you see other characters go up against them, the special grades seem absurdly powerful, and those characters are still powerful considered to the main cast. So when you look at someone like Megumi, he's still strong. Like when you compare him to like the masses of characters, but when it comes to like any big scenario, he still is, it's not like he's, oh, I'm just going to stomp every opponent I go up against. There's still a degree of difficulty. And then there's just extreme difficulty. But he's still growing, but in his moveset, the way that his ability works, he's able to pretty much just cheat the system in order to get a broken potential win. If not like a suicide move. I think that's the really cool part about it. But like Satoru was talking to him, and he's like talking about how long ago, like they're the origins of why the Zenin and the Gojo clans like have had a grudge to each other is before they were more political, they were at war with each other. They were just constantly fighting. And at the time, the leader was like the leader of the Gojo clan had the unlimited curse technique and the six eyes, just like Satoru, as well as the leader of the Zenin clan had the 10 shadows technique that Megumi has. So Megumi has an ability that like gives him the potential to be on level with Satoru, because at a time where the last time their characters of their clans both existed like this probably was at the origins, like when you had essentially it's like their Madara and Hashirama. Essentially, I think that's the easiest way I can describe this. So Megumi's got some big hype to like how his power works. And like the way that his power works is like talking to the enemy dude, and he's like essentially it's kind of like Pokemon. Like imagine Pokemon, and instead of like there's like a training method built into it as well, because you can summon a Shikigami and fight him 1v1. He always has the two dogs that are built into his moveset of his 10 shadows. So he's got 8 slots to fill. And he can fight 1v1, and if he beats it 1v1, then he can kind of capture it and then use it to, in his moveset. But at the same time, he always has the ability to summon like a powerful Shikigami for them to fight and try and exercise. So they always have a means to kind of like battle and get stronger. Then eventually he'd be strong enough 1v1 to beat it and then capture it. So he's got his own kind of like system built in to constantly like increase his level and increase his arsenal of spirits that he has. And because of that way, he's like, you're able to summon things high up, like higher than your level, but it's dangerous. So like if he was fighting somebody, he could be like, oh yeah, here's my technique, bam, and then you summon like a character that you can't beat 1v1 still, you're close, but it's still stronger than you, so it's able just to kind of like dumpster whatever opponent you have, or even the odds and get the victory. Or you do what Megumi does here, and he summons the Shikigami that no 10 Shadows user has ever been able to summon, and none of them have ever been able to summon. So at no point, no one's ever been able to control this one. So Megumi potentially will be the first one to be able to gain control over this guy. This thing, for one, this was badass, because the way that he's talking about it is he cheats the system, he forces the other dude into an exorcist with him within the rules and confines of how the spell works, and then locks them in it. So he's completely just cheated his own ability in order to have a suicide move, which is really, really cool. And summons this dude with like the wolves come out and start howling. It's just such a neat entrance. But he's got, and the frogs as well. Like, his spirits, like, other ones just summon this one. 8-handled, sword, divergent, Scylla, divine general, Moho Raga. It just looks so badass. This thing is a beast creature. And I really like weird monster designs. So this just, as this weird, like, 10-foot tall lumbering behemoth with his weird, like, chakram halo thing and spooky tail and cherub wing face. Dude looks badass. I really like this design. He looks really cool. But the other dude is just like understanding what he did. Like, he forced him into like this exorcism. And so now logically this thing is just going to fight until it kills them pretty much. Either defeats them and it decides to leave, probably will kill them. And Jesus, that thing is terrifying looking. It's such a really cool creature, and I really like the idea of like one day Megumi capturing it and then gaining its power, and then like if he gains its power and like say it loses and he's able to kind of like what he did with his wolves, turn them into pretty much werewolves, if he pumped that level of power into one of his dogs and he was able to fight with those and had like 2 giant shadow wolves to fight against, that'd be really cool. I think that'd be a super badass way to kind of like evolve his moveset. But the way that it was cool here is like he expected to die. He expected to die, but he wanted to take this guy out. He wanted to do his job and make it, and get the mission successful and stop any opposition that he could. And so like he summons this dude, and he's the first one. He's like, assumes like, oh, I'm gonna die, but I'm gonna take you out right after this, so it's good. And then just completely smashed, and then that's where the previous chapter ended, with it, being Megumi being beat up, and then the other dude just shitting his pants at like having to fight this guy. It is really cool to see Sukuna showing up, because we know Sukuna had an interest in Megumi prior. I wonder if he wants to take his presence and put it inside of Megumi's body out, and take over him instead, so he could get the 10 Shadows power, or maybe he needs the 10 Shadows power for something. Like, maybe there's something above this creature that he summoned that Sukuna wants. Like, maybe it has something to do with, like, Sukuna's backstory or something. Either way, Sukuna fighting this guy is going to be really cool, and I'm wondering if it's going to lead into, like, that form that we saw on the cover page, like that color cover. Because that thing, I feel like that form can definitely beat this guy, but I feel like this form, like he's still in the Yuji body, he's still got his seals and stuff, that I think he can probably win, but I don't think it'll be like super easy. I don't think he's just gonna be like nope like with Jogo. I think it's gonna actually be a fight to him, because like obviously this is Sukuna, like he's absurdly powerful, but this is a sealed Sukuna, and he's clearly not in his full form. He's not even in the form we saw on the cover. And he's not in that full forearm, got the staff and his weird sacrificial dagger, looking like a weird, like, holy monster dude. Like, we haven't gotten to that yet. He's like a holy monster nightmare. He's very scary. And I can't wait to see him in full color, because I feel like he's just going to look absolutely terrifying. But, I don't think we've seen him in full color. Like, I think we've only seen the silhouette, and he's mostly covered in shadows and stuff to keep that ominous look. But anyway, other than that though, like I said, Megumi's got to be my favorite character of this one. I really like this, as well as that new cover. I don't think I've commented on the new cover yet with Mei Mei. That just looks nice. I think everybody agrees. That just looks like a nice cover. But Megumi's moveset, like dude is just awesome. I love his moveset. I love this crazy suicide move that he's got now. And the hype window as well for him to eventually grow as powerful as Satoru. Like, it'll be really cool if he becomes like the next Satoru and he's able to kind of master summoning this giant terrifying creature. That'll be really badass. But anyway, other than that though, comment below, tell me your thoughts are about this, and yeah, I really am hyped to see what's next in this arc, because like how are a lot of these characters going to get out of there alive? And there's definitely expendable characters that, like, it'll be like, damn, that guy got killed, or that guy got killed, that sucks. But some of the characters have to live. You know, obviously Megumi's going to live, but like, who else is going to be able to pass on? I'm really, really hoping nothing bad happens to Kukisaki or Nanami, but we'll see. We'll see how things go. Other than that, though, comment below. Like I said, thumbs up the video, friend, like, button, subscribe button, and check out my other videos. Further than that, I appreciate everybody who's already subscribed, and I thank you all for listening. Bye.